Hi, this is Pierre Fuenmei. Today's topic is going to be about study habits. We're going to call this Mastering College-Level Study Habits in High School, a Pathway to Academic Success. The transition from high school to college often presents a significant leap in academic expectations, particularly at elite institutions where rigor and independence define the learning environment. For high-achieving high school students, adopting college-level study habits early can provide a competitive edge, both in admissions and in the subsequent academic journey. Developing these habits can bridge the gap between the structured environment of high school and the self-directed learning required in college, allowing students to thrive in highly demanding programs. Today, we're going to explore effective research-backed study methods that can be applied by high school students. We'll discuss how different study techniques benefit various subjects, provide a roadmap for developing strong study habits, and examine 2 case studies of students who successfully use these methods to excel. So the first discussion is going to be about the importance of study habits in college and beyond. College coursework, particularly at top-tier universities, requires students to process and apply large amounts of information in a condensed time frame. Unlike high school, whereas teachers may spoon-feed material in a structured manner, college professors often cover significant amounts of content in a single lecture, with the expectation that students will engage in substantial independent study. The emphasis here is on independent, of course. For instance, a typical college-level math course might include 2 or 3 lectures a week, each covering multiple complex topics. In addition to lectures, students often attend sections, smaller group settings where teaching assistants, TAs, work through problems, clarify lecture material, and address student questions. Outside of class, resources such as professor office hours, TA office hours, walk-in tutoring centers, lecture recordings, and note-taking services are available to help students manage the workload. However, success in these environments hinges largely on the student's ability to self-regulate and apply effective study methods. The next part, we are going to be talking about essential study methods backed by research. Number 1, spaced repetition. So what it is? Spaced repetition involves reviewing material at intervals that grow progressively longer over time. This technique capitalizes on the psychological principle known as the spacing effect, which strengthens long-term memory. The research. A study published in Memory and Cognition showed that spaced repetition is far more effective for long-term retention compared to cramming, especially for subjects that require heavy memorization, such as biology and history. Subjects benefited. Spaced repetition is particularly useful for vocabulary in foreign languages, historical dates and events, and scientific terminology. Study method number 2, active recall. What it is, active recall is the practice of actively retrieving information from memory rather than passively reviewing notes or textbooks. This can be done through self-quizzing or by writing down everything you know about a topic. Research. A study from Science found that students who employed active recall retained up to 50% more information than those who relied on passive review. Active recall strengthens neural pathways and deepens understanding, making it particularly useful for problem-based subjects such as math and physics. Subjects benefited. Active recall works exceptionally well in STEM subjects, science, technology, engineering, and math, where constant practice and problem solving are key. Study method number 3, the Feynman technique. What it is, named after physicist Richard Feynman, this technique involves teaching a concept to someone else in a simple language. The idea is that simplifying concepts forces deeper understanding. Research. Cognitive psychology research supports this method, suggesting that teaching others helps consolidate your own learning. This is especially useful in subjects like physics, chemistry, and even literature, where explaining complex ideas improves comprehension. Subject benefited. The Feynman technique is helpful in math, science, and even literature, where students need to break down and analyze complex ideas. Study method number 4, interleaving. What it is. Interleaving is the practice of mixing different topics or problem types in a single study session. For example, instead of studying one type of math problem continuously, students switch between algebra, geometry, and calculus problems. Research. Studies in cognitive psychology suggest that interleaving helps students apply their knowledge more flexibly, improving problem-solving abilities. Subjects benefited: math, physics, and any subject that involves problem-solving. Benefited from interleaving because it mirrors the varied nature of real-world applications. Study method number 5, elaborative interrogation, what it is. This technique involves asking why questions to make deeper connections with the material. For example, when studying historical subjects, students can ask why those events happened and what their impacts were. Research. Elaborative interrogation has been shown to improve both understanding and retention as it promotes critical thinking and forces students to think beyond surface-level memorization. Subjects benefited. This method is particularly useful in humanities and social sciences, where understanding the relationships between ideas is essential. Okay, the next section is preparing high school students for college rigor. To succeed in college, particularly at competitive universities like the Ivy Leagues or MIT, high school students must begin developing college-level study habits as early as possible. By mastering the skills outlined above, students can build a solid foundation for academic success. Here are the specific steps high school students can take. Number 1, plan study sessions and create a routine. Set up a study schedule that incorporates spaced repetition, interleaving, and active recall. Instead of cramming, students should review material regularly and in shorter, more frequent intervals. Use resources like apps for spaced repetition, for example, Anki, or online platforms for quizzes to facilitate active recall. Number 2, create an optimal study environment. Minimize distractions and create a designated study space. This is essential for maintaining focus during self-study sessions. Number 3, utilize available resources. Many colleges, such as MIT, often offer open courseware, allowing high school students to access lecture notes, assignments, and even recorded lectures. High school students aiming for top schools can benefit from studying college-level material through these platforms, particularly for subjects like calculus or computer science. High-achieving students may also consider attending summer programs at prestigious universities or auditing courses online, for example, Harvard's CS 50, to acclimate themselves to the rigor of college-level courses. And the next section then is tailoring study methods to different subjects. STEM subjects, science, technology, engineering, math. Active recall, interleaving, and affinement technique are highly effective. These subjects often require students to engage with problems and understand underlying concepts, making problem solving a core aspect of study sessions. Humanities and social sciences. Elaborative interrogation and spaced repetition are critical for understanding relationships between concepts, analyzing arguments, and retaining large volumes of information. Languages. Spaced repetition is invaluable for language acquisition, particularly for vocabulary and grammar. Active recall through conversation practice also improves fluency and retention. And now we're going to be looking at 2 case studies. Case study 1, Maria, preparing for Ivy League humanities. Her background. Maria, a high school junior with aspirations of attending Princeton, had a passion for history and political science. She excelled in her courses but wanted to prepare herself for the academic rigor of an Ivy League humanities program. Study methods. Maria used elaborative interrogation to ask critical why questions about historical events. She would then discuss her answers with classmates, reinforcing her understanding through group study. Maria also adopted spaced repetition, creating flashcards for key terms and concepts that she reviewed regularly. Results: Maria's deeper understanding of historical cause and effect relationships combined with her study habits helped her excel in AP US history. Her strong essays and intellectual curiosity contributed to her acceptance at Princeton, where she would go on to major in political science. Case study 2, Andrew, tackling STEM courses for MIT. Background. Andrew, a high school senior, aspired to attend MIT to study computer science and electrical engineering. He had strong math and physics skills, but knew that MIT's academic rigor would be a significant leap from his high school work. Study methods. Andrew began using active recall to quiz himself on calculus problems. He also implemented interleaving, mixing different types of math problems within the same study session. Additionally, Andrew regularly taught physics concepts to his friends using the Feynman technique, ensuring that he had a strong grasp of the material. Results. Andrew's ability to explain complex concepts clearly and solve various types of problems helped him earn top grades in AP Calculus and AP Physics courses. His problem-solving skills, combined with a well-prepared application, secured him a place in MIT's competitive engineering program. So, in conclusion, I'd like to say that high school students aiming for top colleges, particularly in competitive fields, should begin developing college-level study habits as early as possible. Techniques such as spaced repetition, active recall, and the Feynman technique can significantly improve understanding, retention, and performance. By mastering these methods, students can not only excel in high school, but can also prepare themselves for the demands of college courses. Maria and Andrew's cases highlight how effective study habits tailored to specific subjects can provide a significant academic advantage, helping students secure spots at prestigious institutions like Princeton and MIT. So I just quickly wanted to comment on my own experience. So I attended Cornell University, and I found that group study was definitely something that's really helpful because you cover all bases. In other words, you make sure that there's nothing that you didn't cover because everyone kind of covers a different area, and so everyone contributes to the coverage of the material. So it's like maximal coverage because maybe you didn't have time to go as deep into one topic, but someone else did. So you divide the material like divide and conquer. So that was very useful. Also, asking questions. Some people sometimes are a little bit embarrassed to ask questions because they might be dumb questions. They might think that they're dumb questions, but there's no such thing as a dumb questions. You have to get the clarification. You have to understand the concept, especially for STEM-related fields. But I'd like to say that the way you study is foundational to how successful you're going to be in college. It definitely is another level. So in my experience, even compared to like AP and dual enrollment, an Ivy League education, education in top 20 universities is just a different caliber of academic rigor. So with that being said, I hope that you found this video very useful, and I will definitely see you in the next one. Thank you.